I am talking with Daryl Chow, who is from Singapore.
Singapore.
By way of Perth, Australia.
That's right.
You've just gotten off a long plane ride.
Very long, very grueling.
How long did it take?
30 over hours.
30 or more hours in an economy seat, I bet.
Economy, and doesn't really quite fit, even for an Asian leg. Not so tall, it's horrible. But we made it.
But you're a dedicated guy. You're a student,
sure.
a doctoral student.
That's right.
And somehow you managed to pull together what you needed to be able to get to the conference on the subject of achieving clinical excellence.
That's right.
And your doctoral dissertation research is on this very subject.
Exactly.
Can you tell us just briefly what you're looking at?
I think what we're looking at in this research is looking at the development of highly effective psychotherapists. But specifically, we would like to see what we could learn about how they develop, how they actually practice to get where they are. So we're looking at the difference between highly effective therapists compared to the average and probably the pseudo therapists.
Okay, and we do know some things. We know that people have published research on top or what they call master therapists, but your project is somehow different.
That's right, and I think that area has been really strange because the literature has been very clear about what master therapists are. But in fact, if you look closely at how they define master therapists, it's basically just a nomination by their peers, depending on their ranking or reputation. And that's basically it. No idea of their effectiveness.
And so your study is different because it's one of the first, or one of a very few studies that's saying we have to tie the concept of master therapists to the outcome.
That's right. Well, I think it's sensible. It's even intuitive. There's a no-brainer to that. But I think, as you, Scott, have known as well, that there really isn't clear outcomes by agencies or practitioners doing that for a while, at least from where I come from.
We do know that there's a big difference between practitioners. That's right. 8 to 9% of the variance in outcome. It's huge, really.
It's big. It's more than treatment effects, as you know.
And as I know, you've been poring over this literature. Can you give me any explanation for why the field has really ignored this idea? Any guesses?
I'm really not sure, to be frank. I think it's bizarre. It's becoming more about politics. It's becoming more about things that people hold very strongly and dear to them. They're not willing to let it go. And I mean, I'm scratching my head as much as you are.
Okay.
But yeah, it's something that I hope that we get some inroads to.
And now people are waiting. They really want to know, what does it take to be better at their job? Do you have any hints at all from your read of the research and the research plan you have for your dissertation? Any hints that you can give us?
Yeah, and I think one very clear thing that we could learn from our field as well as from other expertise is this idea of commitment to outcomes via feedback. And when we say feedback, it has to be a loop that's returned to the practitioner or to the person we're talking about and put back into the mix of outcome. So it's not so much just focusing on the results, but focusing on the process of getting to the results.
The process of getting to the results?
Yeah.
You mean, what do you mean?
Well, I think specifically looking at areas that they can focus on to work on. Like if you were an athlete, you'd be focusing on specific issues like cardio, or you'd be looking at certain things like your three-pointer shot if you're a basketball player.
Okay.
So if you're a therapist, you'd be focusing on certain issues that you would like to work on, like identifying a client's emotional needs, for example, and you work at that and you see if you could replicate that across your different sessions, and you reflect back based on the scores that you get, you pour it through again. So there's a lot of pre, during and post sort of work going on, and it's pretty much damn hard work, actually.
Yeah. And you're talking about this right now on the ICCE website,
right,
in the Expertise and Excellence section. So people can meet you there if they want to sort of chat with you and make suggestions or ask questions.
Yeah, I think I owe ICCE a lot because that's exactly what's been happening, and this platform has offered me the chance to meet people like you, meet people like Jason, meet people like Bill, and all the rest of the people who are very generous with the sharing. And I'll be happy to chat based on ICCE.
Do you have any sort of idea about when we might expect some even preliminary results from your research?
Fingers crossed, I think sometime end of next year, or if not beginning of 2012.
Great. Thanks, Daryl. Glad you're here.
Thank you.